Happy Friday.
Good evening. How are you? We had a crazy last couple of weeks, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I wouldn't have changed a thing.
I know, right? Oh my goodness. I think you had something going on the week of the 18th, and then the weekend, I should say, of the 16th, 17th, something like that. And then the following
Yep.
weekend, the 23rd, 24th, was my birthday weekend. I was out of town, but hey, wait, I got it done.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. And it's been a pretty interesting week this week on both the soaps.
Oh, I agree. I very much enjoyed every day this week.
I know, right? So, first of all, let me welcome everybody to CBS Soapdish Recap, where, well, today we have Trish in the house, where Trish and I recap both The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. This is for the week of April 25th through the 29th. And normally we do a recap of this week for The Young and the Restless first. Then we do in the second half of the show The Bold and the Beautiful. And then there is a segment called Flip the Script, where if there is a pa- particular storyline or a scene that we wish we could change, this is where we flip the script. Alrighty. So, what I normally do is I give a summary and then we break down the storyline. So that's pretty much how we do it. I want to welcome, I would say, of course, I want to send a shout out to all of our OG listeners on the Anchor podcast. Thank you so much for coming back and supporting the podcast every week. And I also want to send a shout out to all of the newbie subscribers on the YouTube channel as well. So they get a chance to listen to us well, and they are absolutely enjoying it. The channel is growing by leaps and bounds. So I appreciate you guys coming over here, checking us out, and listening to us every week, and even all the other content that is uploaded to the channel. So I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you, Trish, too.
Well, thank you so much, Letitia. I'm just so excited to sit in for Keisha while she's away and grateful to be able to have a conversation with you about our favorite shows.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so enough of all of the pleasantries. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. So let me do my summary for The Young and the Restless, and then, like I said, we'll break down the, the whole storylines and everything. So for let's see, hold on, 'cause my notes or the way this thing moves is really slow. So I don't know if I need to do some updates or what. Okay, here we go. All right. So for Young and the Restless this week, we saw that Nikki learns that Diane is alive. We also have Jack telling Kyle that Diane is alive. Then we have, come on, slow pokey. Hold on. Let's say, oh, oh, okay, my system don't want to cooperate. And then we find out Chance tells Sharon that Ray died of a heart attack. And then we also had um today where we saw hmm, pretty much that Sally and Adam are saying that they're in love with each other.
I
Mm,
love those two together.
oh my God, I think that was the best thing they've done since they decided not to put him and Sharon together.
I
'Cause
agree. I think they have so much chemistry. They're so much fun to watch, and to see their relationship unfold is just really, it's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what else they do with this couple.
yeah, me too. You know what? Here's the thing. Now, because originally they were going to have Chelsea kind of fancy after Ray, but now that
Mhm.
Jordi Villasuso is no longer on set, now it looked like they're moving her back to this whole thing with Adam and Sally. And I'm like, no, no.
That jealousy face is so ugly.
Did you
I mean,
did you see that today?
I did. She's a great actress, but I still want Adam and Sally to stay together.
I
But I
know.
love Chelsea, but she looks so angry.
Yeah, I mean, and then she was watching them from afar, and that little spiteful comment she made because she was like, "Oh, the three of us are planning." There's an. I think Adam said that there's an outing he was taking Connor on,
Mhm.
and then she was like, "Oh, well, maybe all three of us can take them together," and that was a whole that shifted that whole conversation.
Yeah, it went from a kind checking on you, we know you lost your friend, to instantly trying to mark territory.
Exactly,
She's
exactly.
back to her old ways.
Yeah, and I mean, even Chloe was like, "Why do you care?" At this point, she shouldn't because she had apparently moved on. But now we're back to square one, and I'm like, writers, please don't do this.
I agree with you. I'd stop making it that the woman has to have some man every minute. Let's let her find her fashion. Let's have a fashion show. I mean, come on, give us something fun with Chelsea and Chloe, and let them have a little bit of fun with their new business, and stop chasing someone who's obviously not interested in you in that way any longer. And
Right.
I mean, you already said you kind of raised such a great man, and she was scouting all of that, and to just do that flip right after he died kind of creeped me out.
Yeah, okay, so let's kind of talk about that because I was real fussy about that whole thing until the writers decided to kind of throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in this. So, and I'll tell you why. So, when Ray apparently had this accident with Ashland and Victoria, and his car driving over into Victoria's Lane, and we all know the rest of that story. Originally, they wanted him to go out by him just being killed in the accident. And so then, seeing this whole conversation between Chelsea freaking out last week, and I kind of talked about it last week on the podcast, but Chelsea freaking out and, oh my God, this is my fault. She started ripping up the tickets and whatnot. There was a scene because here's my thing. Before all of this new news came out in the middle of this week, I was like, you know what, Chelsea, you were trying to be conniving. The moment that you found out that you weren't going to New York, you should have took your own kid to the hockey game, right? Therefore, I mean, because this is somebody else's husband. You know what I mean? So, I mean, at this point, originally he was supposed to just take him by himself. And then she either played or maybe she lied or whatever the situation they tried to do with that storyline. She inserted herself to make her a third wheel to make this like, oh, I'm going out of town to a hockey game with Ray. And then, of course, we
Right.
see how he left the tickets, had to go back home, got into a car accident. And then Sharon, they had one scene, I think it was Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, where Sharon was like, Chelsea was, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and all of this. Remember at Crimson Lights this week?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then we saw Sharon say, he didn't have to be dead. And I'm like, oh, yep, I'm here for it. Let her have it.
I am too. And she exactly. I shouldn't be mourning at all.
And then the next episode on Wednesday came on. It was nowhere to be found.
Mhm.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, just cut it off.
It just cut off. And then the next day or so, we found out it had nothing to do with the accident. It was because he had a massive heart attack.
Right.
So I'm like, what happened? Because I think that would have been a missed opportunity for the whole thing. Because I was waiting. I said in the last podcast, I said I'm here for it if Sharon decides to come for Chelsea, and sure
Yep.
enough, they led us to believe that. What is your thoughts?
Well, and then it was a big nothing ball.
Exactly. It was like womp
It didn't
womp.
go anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. They totally missed an opportunity. And I mean, I can honestly see where it broke down because there are so many other really powerful storylines going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, the Rosaleses had a big fan club, and now they're all gone.
Yeah, I will say this. Outside of the show, on like social media and in some of the the blogs and things like that, there are a lot of unhappy people about how they handled this.
I agree. I've read that too. And I think there could have been so many things they could have done with Ray. And now, I mean, we don't have Paul anymore. Now we don't have Ray. I guess Chance is going to be the only cop left on the show.
That's what it
Um,
seems like.
and then he broke the news to Sharon about the heart attack. And somewhere I read that one of the predictions of, guessing games was that Sharon was going to turn to Chance, and then another one was Chelsea's going to turn to Chance. And it's like, oh, come on, man, just leave Chance and his wife and baby alone for a while.
Yeah, I just think they botched this whole thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I mean, look, I know that they brought Kyle back, they brought Diane Jenkins back, and they're bringing this Alley girl on, right? And I notice every time they bring a bunch of new folks on, somebody gets the axe.
Yes, exactly. It's like, why do we have to sacrifice this storyline for this other storyline? Because, I mean, honestly, it's an ongoing series. There's time for everything to unfold.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
I mean,
We've seen some good characters go, and to bring Diane Jenkins back, I mean, I really wish we would be done with bringing back the dead. I mean, unless it's Finn on D&D, we can talk about that later.
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Let's stop bringing people back from the dead.
Yeah, I was just not. I just don't like how they handled it. I mean, I understand that they had a budget. I get it. I don't know if they took a hit back in 2020 because remember with the pandemic, they took like 6 months off. So I don't know if that cut into budgets and money, and so they can only do so much. But my goodness, I just don't like how they did it. And
Same.
and then they switched stories in the middle of a week because you had Sharon about to read read Chelsea the riot act, and then next thing you know, Chance comes through and say, "Oh no, I'm sorry to let you know, but."
Well, right, and whenever Sharon said that she had been wanting to blame someone, and she was wanting to know about Victoria and Ashland, and how
Right.
could Ashland survive, and then but she didn't mention anything about Chelsea or him having to go back to get the tickets, and if it wasn't for the game, she didn't say anything like that. So I mean, they really did cut off an intense confrontation between Sharon and Chelsea.
Yeah, because I just don't like how that went down. And I don't know if you caught it because I know I did it solo last week, but I did a little rant last week about Chelsea because I just didn't like the fact that even though we knew that Jordy was going to be no longer on the show, but just the mere fact of Chelsea put this whole thing in motion to get next to Sharon's husband, and he ends up dead in the process. I was like,
Right.
yeah, I was not happy about that. But and I said, Sharon, when you see her, give her the business.
Yep. I know. I think we were all waiting for it, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, because when she was at the coffee house with Nicholas and Chelsea was there, and Sharon lashed out like he shouldn't be there, or whatever she said. I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Here it
I'm
comes.
ready.
Yep.
So yeah, I just don't. I think there was a missed opportunity there. They could have really extended that storyline by creating some type of angst between, Sharon, and a little drama there with Sharon and Chelsea. And then but I guess they want to be done with his storyline. So the only way to just clean it up and be done is to say, nope, nobody to blame. It was natural
Right.
causes. It's over.
Right. And that was annoying to me too because I really wanted it to be Ashland going into the other lane trying to get Victoria to pull over
Mm-hmm.
and having it be his fault. But no, I didn't get my way.
Nope. So they really wanted to end the whole thing. They didn't even want to take it post him being off the show. They're like, you know what? Nah, this is nobody's fault. Something happened, but it's still, even that part was so freaking unbelievable because he was this healthy, strong guy, and all of a sudden, oh my god, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it didn't make
Right.
sense. I kind of wish that if they were going to take Jordy out and the whole Ray character go, send him back to Miami and say, I'm going to visit my family, and then he calls Sharon back and say, you know what, I decided to just stay here, and I want to kind of fix things with Mia. I don't know, whatever, and
Yeah.
just leave him in Miami. Maybe he comes back, maybe not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah,
Right.
I don't think they did a good job with that.
I don't think so either. And bear in mind, at some point they could still bring him back and say that he was in some undercover something where they had to pretend. Who knows?
I
In
mean, yeah,
2027, we could be talking about him all over again. Yeah, he
exactly.
came back from the dead.
Right. I mean, if they can bring Adam from the dead 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like you said, they just brought back Diane Jenkins and Sheila Carter about six
For crying
times.
out loud with a different face. I know.
Yeah, and 2 different soaps.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So, anywho, um, yeah, I just had to start there because that was pretty much most of the week. This whole thing about
Mm-hmm.
his death and all of this. So let's kind of shift and move toward Victoria and Ashland. Um, Ashland is still trying to get in where he fits in.
Yeah, it's like he's on the merge lane, but he doesn't have enough gas in the tank to push the pedal and actually get on the freeway. I
Yeah.
don't know, it's weird.
So let me
He's
ask you
just been
this.
hovering.
Let me ask you this, Trish. Do you think that the Newmans are being a little harsh because he did end up saving Victoria's life? She could have burned up in the car. Do you think they're being a
You
little
know,
harsh, or do you think hey, they're grateful, but you need to get out of town?
I mean, it's not like any good human being would have pulled her from the car.
Right, that's true.
You did what you should have done. Yes, it was dangerous to you, but you were also stalking her, and your lights were very bright in her rear view mirror.
Hmm.
And, yeah, it was an accident and all that other stuff, but everything you did leading up to that is the whole reason he was on the road to begin with.
Mm.
So I don't think they're being too hard on
Okay,
him. I think he should leave.
you think he should leave? Okay,
I
gotcha.
do. I really wanted them to be like the power couple and have him be, really her equal in her match. But after everything he's done, I don't know. It's just creepy to me.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha,
What do you
gotcha.
think?
It's kind of tough for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is well, see, here's the thing. I guess why it's tough for me because they brought this monster in. And I keep going back to how it started. Both Victoria and Victor tried to manipulate this man out of his company. Not only
Yep.
Cyaxares, but because he did that with him having a heart attack. And then Victoria also tried to get the company, the Lock Industries, when she found out the man was supposedly had cancer. Then you find out all these things about him, and you still marry this dude, bring him into the fold. You pretty much stonewall Nicholas, to keep him from intercepting. And Victoria had this whole upset against Nick and Billy and all this stuff. And then now when the snake bites you, you're mad at the snake. You brought him in.
It's true. She
And
did.
I mean, it'll be different if they didn't know any of this, and then at the end of this thing, they're blindsided by his childhood, the company he worked for, and the lady he swindled out of her inheritance, and the illness. All that came out at the end. They knew what he was about, and I said this on last week. You brought the monster in. When the
Yeah.
monster bites you, now you want to cry foul. I mean,
Yeah. They really
seriously.
did invite the wolf into the hen house or the fox into the hen house. It's it always comes down to the money, doesn't it? The business deals
Exactly.
with the
Exactly. So for, I know she, oh, you got to get this man out of here and all of this kind of stuff. He went so far. The guy Gaines tried his best to expose this guy across the world. And what did the Newmans do? They protected the monster.
right.
So now when the monster bites you, because obviously they felt that they can control the situation, and they realized at the end that they couldn't. Now we're at this whole now going on this whole accident situation. I mean, honestly, if he didn't make an attempt to get out of that car, push the tree away, the girl would be gone. She would be a
Right.
casualty. And so there's got to be something, it's like, listen, I appreciate you for taking care of my daughter. It doesn't, I still haven't forgotten everything else, but you did save my daughter's life.
Yeah.
They're being rude and vindictive. I mean, it's like, just step away from the monster. He already knows what you want him to do. He signed for an annulment. He signed for, his name off the company. But it's like, what what does being mean and vindictive going to add to it? Because here's the thing: Victoria is still in love with him.
Yeah. You can tell. But then I read something where she's going to be leaning on Billy possibly. So I don't know where
Oh
they're going to take
God, are you
open up a whole
serious?
can of worms. Yeah. I mean, they're fun together and everything, but I mean, I really like the
Yeah,
and I always want Lily to be happy. And if Billy makes Lily happy, then I want Lily to have Billy.
well, let's talk about a little bit about their conversation, because I was on Lily's side on this one, because Billy was like, "Oh my God, we should do everything we can to protect Victoria. Don't you want to see justice for her?" And Lily is like, yeah, but
Sure.
but
Exactly. Yeah, she had to put the kibosh on that.
I mean, that's your ex. I mean, this is the same woman that stonewalls you throughout the entire relationship that he's had with Ashland. And I get it. You're gonna obviously he has some feelings for his ex. You can tell.
Yeah.
But for her, I mean, for Billy to actually think that Lily was going to go off into the sunset fighting the big fight for Victoria, it was just like, really, dude? You actually think that
Yeah.
your current girlfriend is going to move heaven and earth to get justice for her? Yeah,
It's a big ask.
that's a big ask. So yeah, I thought that he kind of backed up though, but
Yeah.
maybe that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
She set him straight.
Yeah, you know what, and that probably ties into what you were saying about, the whole thing of, Victoria leaning on Billy, which that's gonna cause some problems for real with Lily.
Absolutely.
You know, we actually did get to see a little bit of Lily, Nate, Imani, and we also saw Amanda. thought that was pretty cool. But Amani is landing on real thick with Nate.
Uh, you know, um, she's, she's not shy.
No. Mm-mm.
I thought it was so funny when she complimented the tie and he told her it was a gift from Elena, and it was all about him wearing it well. Did you
Yeah.
see the look on his face?
So you know that they're probably still going to create a triangle between Elena and her and Nate. I
Absolutely.
just here's my
Absolutely.
thing. I'm having a difficult time with the transition with Nate because I'm so used to seeing him as a doctor,
Mhm.
and now he's this corporate business guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems kind of far fetched unless he like had some business classes. I'm not saying that doctors can't be business people, but it was just interesting how he's like, I'm leaving my career as the head of surgery and I'm coming over to be a COO of whatever it is. I don't even know the
Mhm.
department.
You notice how they're throwing that title around in all the soaps these days?
You
COO. Oh, you're COO.
you know
Have you
what?
noticed how?
Let me tell you, and you probably know this in the business world. There's so many titles in that C-suite. You
Mhm.
got CFO, CEO, CIO, CTO. It's just a ton of them.
Yes, it is, and I kind of wish I had one and was getting those bonuses.
Yeah, and basically all it's saying that you're the chief head over whatever department, whether it's finance, technology, the executives, whatever, operations, But yeah, I do notice, like you said, they're definitely throwing that whole COO title around, So,
Definitely.
um, but did you kind of see a little bit of hesitation from Devon?
I did. Yeah, he doesn't seem very excited now about this whole merger process, and he doesn't seem to want to be a face, an external face of the company. But I mean, he and Lily are supposed to be equals, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
She's encouraged.
I don't think that he's technically ready for all of that. He was second guessing it in the beginning too. Because he kind of wanted his own autonomy instead of him coming under that whole chancellor umbrella until, everybody, between Jill and Lily, like, oh, this is what Catherine would want, and this is what Neil would want. And so, he,
Piled it on.
yeah, they laid it on really thick. And so he decided to do it, but I just don't think his heart is 100% into this.
No, his facial expressions were definitely questioning of decisions and direction, I think.
Yeah, I see a little bit of a struggle coming in there later.
I think you're right. And I also think that with the personal relationships involved, that's going to just open up a whole lot of drama.
Yeah, because here's the thing, if Lily says we're going to do this across the board and it affects one department or an administration as a part of his company and he don't want it to go that way, it's going to be a real issue.
Yep,
So I can
absolutely.
see problems coming down the road with those two. Yep.
Definitely. And of course, they're partners as well because you know Imani's going to make a play for Nate.
Mm-hmm.
You know Elena's not going to be happy about it. The feathers are going to be ruffled.
Yep.
And Amanda's going to pick a side. And then Devon's going to have to get involved. And it's just going to be a hot mess all the way around.
It sure is. Woo wee. Well, if you're looking for drama, there it is, right there.
There it all is. Absolutely right.
That's gonna be really, really crazy. But I guess we'll have to see. But where does that? Okay, so let me ask you this, because remember, the whole dynamic. There was this whole other storyline, unless they're kind of moving away from it, with Dominic and Devon and Chance and Abby. Abby hasn't
Uh-huh.
really been on as much. We've only seen Chance as a police officer, so I'm wondering if they're moving away from that whole thing.
maybe the dust is kind of settling until something comes up and a big decision has to be made, and then they'll probably wind up arguing about what's best for Dominic over like the futuristic decisions of, I don't know, school, education, medical. I mean, who knows what they'll come up with, but definitely will be something that's going to happen to bring it back to the forefront, because the opportunity for challenges there is really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, we'll have to see. That's another storyline that I really think they screwed up in 2021.
Right.
I was so over that whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I do.
all right, so the only other couple things that we probably need to talk about this week is the Mariah Tessa wedding, because there's a lot of mourning going on, and Sharon is I absolutely love the scene between her and Adam.
Mhm. I thought it was fantastic as
And I
well. It was very
know
heartfelt.
and I'm hoping they're still dating, because I know they were dating off camera, but you can tell the chemistry that they have with each other.
Yeah, they're great together, and I think in the magazines it said they haven't mentioned anything, so I think they are still together.
I
I
hope
hope so.
so.
They're a
I
beautiful
hope
couple.
so. Yeah. I mean, they look like they're really, really, I mean, the pictures that I see off, away from the soaps, they are really a cute couple.
I agree. I agree.
Um,
I'm happy for them.
yeah. So, and then when they played that scene where he was really endearing to her and saying, "Hey, you don't have to hide with me. You know who I am. You can do whatever." And then he was making jokes with her. I'm like, this has got to be the stuff that they do at home.
Yeah, it was so natural,
It
wasn't
was
it?
just so natural. It don't even seem like they were acting.
No,
It was
I kind
just,
of teared up during that one.
I know, it was so intimate. So, it was just the two of them. I'm like, boy, they probably after that whole, and I'm gonna be honest, and this is a grown folks show, but I was like, after that whole take on that scene, they probably went home and they was just all over each other.
Good for them.
Hey, I'm not mad at them if that's what happened, and
Absolutely not. That's hilarious. I love it.
oh my goodness, yeah, I don't know, it just came to my mind because I was so into that scene, and I'm like, oh my God, you can see like the tension between the two of them. And I'm like, yeah, I know what that was like when y'all got home. So
It's good. It's good,
that was
good,
good, good. That was really good. Yeah. Anywho, again, this is a grown folks show. Um,
ID required for attendance.
exactly. But then I gotta say that Sharon is trying, she's struggling. You can tell she just wanna break down, but she's using working and planning the girls'
Baking.
wedding, yeah, to kind of keep her mind off of it. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna last. Because
No, no,
it's
it lasts another couple minutes.
well, yeah, but even if just say she was distracted throughout the entire thing, grief can hit you not 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 months, whatever. It'll hit you at the least moment that you're thinking about it.
Absolutely agree.
So she can try to avoid it, but yeah, it's inevitable.
It'll be triggered at some point.
Oh, of course, whether she listened to a song or she happened to walk to the park and she happened to remember something that they did there, it's always something that's going to bring him to mind. So, is right now she's dealing with it the way she can. Go ahead. What you about to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, there's that song. There's always something there to remind me, and it's so true.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but we saw Mariah and Tessa ask Nicholas to walk her down the aisle, and I like the way she put it, because she was like, you weren't able to walk your own daughter, meaning Cassie.
Yeah,
Here's the
that was.
opportunity. That was really sweet.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I remember, casting in the scenes in the hospital. So I kind of teared up on that one too.
Yeah, that they did a good job with that.
They did.
They
Cameron Grimes is an amazing actress.
Yes, she is. She's engaged anyway, off camera.
I think she is. Yeah, I did read that. A couple, I guess what
She got
couple months ago?
engaged like right around her birthday, because her birthday is January 7th. So it was somewhere back in January when she got engaged. So she have a wedding anyway that's coming up.
Yeah. On the show and in real life.
Yeah, she got a TV wedding, and then the wedding. I think she's been with her guy friend for a long time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been with him for several years. So I guess they decide to tie the knot.
Yeah. Next steps. Next steps. I
And who
bet they're having
knows?
fun
Maybe
with all
she'll
this
be.
fashion.
Yeah, maybe she'll be having a baby next in real life.
Gosh, you never know.
Never know. Okay, and then the other bigger storyline this week was Diane and Kyle coming home. I gotta give it to Jack because I didn't know what to expect. You know how sometimes people can be passive aggressive and they'd be like, "You don't want to meet your mom. You don't want." They
Yep.
throw these weird things to kind of guide you away from something.
Yep.
But I gotta say that his conversation with Kyle today, he was like, "You know what? I don't want to stand in your way. No pressure from me, no pressure from your mom, no pressure from anybody. This is a decision you have to make." And I totally agree
Right.
with that.
I do too. 100%.
And I'm glad. And of course, we knew he was going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to talk to her," because I mean, why would you
Oh,
bring?
sure.
Yeah, why would you bring Michael Mueller back if he's not going to talk to her? So it was no big surprise that he was going to end up having a conversation. What did you think about the interaction between her and Nikki?
So I thought Nikki was going to smack her across the face.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised they did not write in a slap, but I get why they didn't.
Okay.
Thinking back to everything that Nikki went through with all of having to deal with the police and everything when she was accused of murdering Diane, and then I mean Kyle hated Nikki for a long time. I mean she paid a heavy price for Diane's lies.
Yeah. So can you refresh my memory? Because I remember it was the other girl that played. I think she's on. She's on.
Maura West.
Yeah, Moira West. Isn't she? Is she on GH or is she on Dual?
She's on another soap, but I can't remember which one. But she used to be on As the World Turns.
Right. Okay.
Before all of that.
So what
great actress.
What did she? Because one thing about me, because I see so many different angles, I got maybe a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I kind of want you to refresh my memory of the crimes that she did. Did she blackmail somebody? I'm trying to remember. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, she was blackmailing. She was trying to get Jack away from Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.
She was holding things over Victor's head. She was holding things over Ashley's head. She was in a bad spot, man. She had basically turned on everybody in Genoa City because, I mean, they had her character going down some insane road and making herself the victim with everything. And I remember the scene. They were at the bridge on that little waterfront area, and I remember vaguely there was a scene, and I think Nikki may have picked up a rock or something in self-defense and hit her, and that was when things went fuzzy for Nikki. And that was where they found Diane, and she was basically dead. It took me a few minutes to remember that Deacon Sharp was involved at that time, but he was, because he and Nikki were actually involved, and I think Nikki was even drinking again, and that was part of the problem when she didn't remember what happened.
Okay, all right. Only reason.
So now, bear in mind that was a long time ago, and I'm getting old. So
okay, so All right. So let me ask you this then. So with that being said, um, did somebody lure her to the park, or they follow her there, or because there were multiple people involved. It was Nikki, it was Victoria, Ashley. They were all suspects, even Victor.
I want to
So
say she was meeting somebody, one of them there, and then other people, or one of them maybe was watching her or following her. I think that was how it went down. But I would have honestly, I would have to go back and rewatch it or
yeah,
read the
okay.
over. It's been a while.
Because before I kind of put this possible unpopular opinion out there, I kind of wanted to make sure I recap and remember everything because I don't want to say anything that doesn't make sense.
Why not? I do it all the time.
But Nikki and all of them are mad because of the fact that they all were there and they were all suspects and whatnot. If they just followed her there, and they wanted to take her out, it's like, why didn't you just let the police get involved instead of trying to take her out? Then you wouldn't have been a suspect in the first place. But I know that's way out there. And the only reason that I do these types of opinions because I see so many people on social media and comment sections with a various amount of different ideas. So I try to reach out to everybody that listen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Well, and I mean, the other thing that I thought was with all of the stuff, and while I'm talking about Diane and her miserable history,
yeah.
um, you know, the humane thing to do would be to be grateful that she's not dead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody said that. Nobody has
Nobody
actually
said
said,
that.
"I'm glad you're not dead."
You know what was really getting on my nerves, and I actually saw a few comments about this as well. It's Phyllis. Phyllis was
Yeah.
treating that girl like I don't like it was like Diane was her kid, and I'm like, okay, when you're dealing with people like Sheila Carter, and I said this last week, Sheila Carter, Ashland Locke, and in this case Diane, why do you poke the bear? You think that she's a horrible, manipulative, crazy person. Why do you poke them?
Yeah, I mean, I get where Phyllis is coming from because of all of the crap that Diane pulled on her and Jack's relationship and all the manipulations and everything. I
Yeah,
get that Phyllis doesn't want her around, but at the same time, you're right. Why do you show all your cards in a poker game?
exactly.
Makes no
And
sense.
and the thing is, Phyllis is no saint.
Well,
So
no, she ran over Cricket with her car.
no. And I mean she lords it. She was lording it over Diane, like you horrible person and
Mhm.
all your crimes and all the things you did. And I'm looking at Phyllis like, can I give you a mirror, please?
Right. Where's her compact?
Yeah, where you need to you're not a saint, Phyllis. I mean, it's one thing if I like to see when people like, okay, so like that conversation, let's go to the conversation right quick and then we'll bounce back. The conversation that Adam had with Sally about her past in
That was so
LA.
good.
When Sally said, listen, I faked an illness to get a dude back. And he was like, did it work? I mean, because he can't, and like he said, I'm living in a glass house. How can I throw stones? I honestly, that's the best line on this soap that I've ever seen because on both soaps, everybody's a hypocrite.
Absolutely, they are. Absolutely. Even the ones who have the supposed halos are hypocrites. It's
Exactly.
incredibly good.
And I mean, seriously, Adam is like, hey, I done did a lot of crap in my past. I even faked an illness or whatever it was myself. So who am I to talk trash at you? And that's why let's
Right?
let's flip back to Diane and Diane and Phyllis. Phyllis is throwing and pointing fingers and stuff. I'm like, girl, you got a whole resume.
Right. Get that bony little finger out of my face.
At least as pissed off as Jack is about the whole situation, he was able to dial it back just
Yeah.
to just to keep it even to have that conversation with Kyle.
Right.
You
Right.
know.
Well, because he's truly keeping it about his son.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I mean, the girl can't even walk out the door. You know, and Phyllis is like, "Where are you going? Get back on that elevator." She's pushing her in there. Who's that? Amanda? Amanda was like, "Who is that?"
Right. She shoved her in the elevator. Diane went flying.
Oh, that was
Arms
so.
flailing.
I
Yeah, I
know
laughed out loud.
that was so funny. I mean, I had
It was.
even as much as I didn't like Phyllis in this week's moments. That was funny.
It was hilarious. I cracked up.
I could imagine when they said cut. Oh my God, they were probably cracking up.
I agree. I'd love to see, like, I wish online they would share the funny things behind the scenes again. That's been a long time since they've done that.
Oh, I think that would be so cool if they did that. I really
I do
do.
too.
But yeah, I was like, Phyllis, please stop. I mean, you were lording over this girl as if you're the saint of the saintists, if that's even a word. And
Yeah, she had her halo and her staff.
exactly, exactly, Trish. I'm like, girl, stop, please. But anywho, I'm just glad that Kyle was able to, say, you know what, I need answers. I want to talk to my mom. Let's do it.
Yeah,
So I'm okay with that.
yeah, me too. He can do it. We'll give him permission to do that. He can talk to her.
Yeah. And that obviously we're not going to see that till next week because they cut us off at the end. So with that whole
And the
statement.
look on his face, he's such a great actor.
Hmm. Yeah. They recasted Summer.
I saw that. I saw that. I'm gonna miss Hunter King, but hopefully she's enjoying her career out there, and hopefully I don't recall the new actress's name off the top of my head, but I look forward to seeing what she does with the character.
Yeah, me too. I'm curious to find out how she filled those shoes.
The big shoes to fill.
Yeah, we also got to see Harrison. He's back on
God, he
camp.
is so cute. He breaks the adorablometer. I mean, that kid is precious.
Yeah, that boy actually looked like he could be related to Kyle.
He does. He does.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know, that this was a soap and you see the two of them walk down the street, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's your kid, huh?" You know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. There's definitely a resemblance there. That was great casting, and he's just a great little actor.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would bring Tara back.
I'm waiting for that to be stoked because it's going to happen at some point.
Uh-huh.
But man, she got on my last nerve. I guess that's what makes her a good actress is because
Yeah.
her manipulations really got to you.
So listen, I remember us talking on our last time together when we were talking about Diane Jenkins and Ashland Locke.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they may be going to be in a collision course because you got to remember Ashland is connected through Harrison to Diane because that's Diane's grandson,
Uh-huh.
and Ashland is the legal dad. So I have a feeling that they're going to. You ever saw a storm or a weather map where you have one storm over here, one
Oh
storm
yeah,
over there?
supercell forms of supercells.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh my God.
Right? Are
Because
you listening?
listen, I honestly believe they're probably going to go in that direction. I really do. And I know we talked about that earlier in April, when I had even that picture because they put a picture out 3 weeks ago, and I think it's on one of my thumbnails where there's a picture of her and Ashland together,
Mm,
or the actor and the actress together. So it's something cooking with that's I think that they're going to really, because it's almost time for May sweeps. So I'm
yeah, quick.
wondering. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said they're coming quick.
Yeah. So I'm wondering because he's going to be around for a while, and now that Harrison is in town, I don't see Ashton running off too soon.
I know, I know. I don't think he's leaving either.
And he's ostracized right now. So if, like you said, Victoria is going to be leaning on Billy, that's going to move Ashlyn away from her.
Hmm.
If he's still in town and those two kind of have conversation or bond over, he find out who she is. Oh, you're Kyle's mom, and this is your grandson is my legal son.
Right.
That is something is going to connect them to. So just like I said, it's create a supercell. Because could you imagine if they put those two
No,
together? Oh my
no,
God.
no. The narcissism and the entitled arrogance would
Mhm.
be off the charts.
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. Now I don't. I think she says what did Diane say she does for a living? She sells real estate,
She
right?
said, well, she was an architect a long, long time ago, and I guess now she's a realtor.
Because remember, even though he's away from the company, Ashland Locke has $500 million.
Oh yeah,
So
that's a
he could
that's a that's,
start
that's a
over.
nice bit of money.
Yeah. So if Diane finds out that he has $500 million,
Hmm.
and Jack is not letting her anywhere near him because especially with Phyllis around, that would be some kind of way that I'm starting a new business. Let's start a new architect firm. Let's start a new real estate investment company. Because he still got
Right.
money down in Peru too, because he owns that
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So he's not destitute. He just don't have
Oh,
Victoria.
right. Right.
Yep. So yeah, I'll be here for that actually. I would like to
Same.
see what happened with that.
That would be such diabolical TV to watch.
Oh my God. And you know what? Honestly, right now, Young and the Restless needs that. Because I don't know what they're going to do with this Allie girl. I thought bringing her on, we got to see the first few scenes, unless she was a bridge. Was she a bridge for Diane? And that's it?
Well, I don't know. Wasn't there a picture with her and the young man who plays Noah?
I don't know. You saw a picture of that?
I thought I saw a picture of the two of them on one of the pages on Facebook,
Ooh.
but maybe it was just side by side.
Okay. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Okay. So maybe they
Yeah,
are going to go ahead and just bring her in. Because we haven't seen her for a little while.
well, it's been a bit.
Yeah, so I didn't know if like, okay, was this girl used as a bridge to bring on Diane and she's just gonna stay in California? Or are you guys gonna bring this girl to town and she creates some type of drama with somebody or something? I don't know. So,
I mean, I bet you she winds up coming to town because they are doing everything they can to revive the Abbott family.
okay, that makes sense.
I mean, look at the storylines that we're getting now and Kyle coming back and everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Ashley
yeah,
was there, and
yeah.
Tracy's
Tracy,
living there now. And
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe
We'll have to
so. We'll
see.
have to see. All right. Well, we covered everything, I think, right?
I think we did. Yeah, it was a great week.
Yeah, we covered a lot. So, um, we'll have to see what happens for the week of what is that? May 2nd? Oh my
Hmm.
God, we're almost half the year. This time is
Can you
flying.
believe?
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so let us do, we're going to move into the bold and the beautiful. And for the week of April 25th, here's the summary. So Sheila contemplates how to deal with Steffi. And then we have Steffi finally learns the truth about Finn. Come on. And then we have Steffi has another memory, one involving Sheila. And then we have Liam thwarts Sheila's newest plan to silence Steffi. And then, let's see, Friday, we have she get to go home.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So let's knock out because there's a small piece here with where we saw Carter a little bit. Carter and Quinn.
Yep.
And I'm like, nope, don't do it. Let's not go back there.
I don't want that to happen. I mean,
I'm like,
I really
why?
I like Carter and Eric. I mean, I like Quinn and Eric.
I do too. Um, Hook Carter up with someone, bring somebody, have a connection with somebody else. Or else
He
now,
deserves
wait,
his own woman.
what you say?
He deserves his own woman.
Yeah, he
I
does.
And woman, not girl.
Right,
Woman.
right. I totally
I
agree.
did think he and Harris were hot, though. I will say that because
Really?
they're just beautiful. I did. They're so beautiful. I mean, they're just beautiful.
I mean, okay. Well, I mean, I just couldn't. The whole age. She looks so young, and I know she's of age, of course.
Flawless skin. I know.
Yeah, she's of age, of course. She fits better with Zende on camera, to me.
Yeah, I gotta admit. I mean, she does, but God, they're just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, they're gorgeous actors and actresses, absolutely. But having Quinn and Carter revisit this whole thing and the conversation where Quinn is like, well, Eric is all right at home. He's always busy and he's always gone. He's the CEO of an international conglomerate. Yeah, he's busy. And his granddaughter was just shot.
Right.
Figure it out.
And don't talk disparagingly about your husband to your ex-lover.
Exactly. And they sitting there talking
That just
about,
annoyed me.
yeah, that's the other thing. That's huge right there, what you just said. Why are you talking trash about your husband to the dude that you were with on the side?
Private business. I mean, that is as private as it gets.
Right. Because the whole arrangement is over. This whole arrangement that Eric had in place, hey, take care of my wife and I can't do it because I got ED and all of this stuff. Obviously he got his mojo back. So, but it's still not enough somehow because now Quinn's saying he's too busy.
Well, she said one of her lines was that he's staying in the guest house.
She did say that, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
What is that about?
I don't know because this all happened without any scenes.
Yeah, I must have missed that.
We didn't see any trouble.
Well,
we
yeah.
saw them reunite, and now we're supposed to believe that
they're having problems
behind the scenes. They weren't reuniting after all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, why just get this man his own, like you said, his own woman? Why go back down this pathway? It's like really, it's just not a good look in regards to he got to go. He has to be with somebody else's girl, a woman. So it's like I know he's the COO. He's an attorney. He can definitely find somebody. Come on. And he's attractive. The man got a six-pack out of this world.
Oh my gosh, I know. He could be an 8 or 10. I don't know. That's a pack.
Yeah, his abs are so tight. You can bounce a quarter off of it. I mean,
you could. You absolutely could. And I promise I will not go off of our PG-13 script here, but he is a beautiful man.
Yeah, he is. So, I mean, to make him look like I can't get my own woman, without taking somebody else's. It's like, why are y'all doing this?
So
Crazy.
annoying.
It's
Yeah.
annoying. Absolutely. Okay, so we got that out the way. The rest of this week, Brooke and Hope are irritating. So
Oh my God. Just go home.
go on.
Like, go home. The fact that, I mean, could she have said I any more than she did, Brooke? Come on, I miss you. I need you home. I don't want to spend another night without you. I want you to come home. It was like, God, his daughter just woke up from getting shot and her husband's dead. You go home. Oh,
Yeah, she used this opportunity to shoot her shot to bring her husband home. And it's like, do you realize where you are right now? Do you
right.
realize what just happened in the past 48 hours? Because from the way Taylor described it, it's only been 48 hours.
Right.
So it's not like they've been here for a week. It's 48 hours. Um, Hope, on the other hand, she was fine until her mom started insinuating with her.
Exactly.
Because we had this whole thing where before, Steffi realized that, she wasn't married to Liam, she thought she was. You see the two of them getting in their feelings about, oh, she can't take my daughter's husband. We don't even know what's going on. The girl just woke up last night from a
Right.
coma.
Have some compassion.
She is in the middle of a psychotic event, and you're wondering if this is some type of matchmaking contest between you and Taylor.
Right.
Now,
Let's run in there and tell her husband that she doesn't remember is dead.
what I
Yeah.
didn't like is the fact that they all went behind Taylor's back and didn't say anything. Taylor was
That
the last to,
was
yeah.
infuriating.
How do you do that and say, because they had all put the plan together, Hope, Brooke, Ridge,
Uh-huh.
Liam, you should be the one to go in there and tell her. She already said, who are you to tell somebody to go in there and say anything?
As if it's your business at all.
You go in there and tell her because she can't go on living a lie that you're her husband. And I'm like, are you that insecure that Liam is going to waffle? Because guess what? When Steffi goes home, somebody got to be there. And you know who
That's
that's going
right.
to be.
Absolutely. See it a mile away.
Come on. I mean, the
And you
thing.
know what?
Mhm.
Honestly, even though, I mean, I'm a huge Steffi and Finn fan and I want Finn to come back, but I would love it if Liam was over there all the time, just to get under Hope and Brooke's skin. And when Taylor said today about how she was so happy that Liam could be there for Steffi, and watching the look on Brooke's face, whether Taylor was saying it innocently or whether she was trying to get under Brooke's skin, I was glad she said it. I was like, "You go, girl."
I honestly think, and I like to cut it down the middle because I call it both ways. I honestly
Well,
think
I
that,
love them both, but
you
I'm
know,
enjoying it.
I honestly think Taylor was being passive aggressive because she
Penny,
was she was throwing all this stuff like, and Liam is going to be there for her, and Liam is going to help out, and thank God Liam is there. And I'm like, really, Taylor? You
yep,
know, you know this is getting on her nerves.
yep. That was some petty Betty stuff, but I liked it. I was glad
Yeah,
she
it
did
was
it, just
pretty.
simply because Brooke kept trying to make everything all about her, and Hope's very Hope's standing up there perfectly fine, going home to her kids with her husband. Sit
Yeah,
down.
I mean, she was listening at the door, listening to their conversation because Steffi did realize, oh my God, I was married to Finn. She had to find out that Finn is dead. And then, that she has a son. So,
Right.
all of that start coming in, but I honestly think that there's some insecurity there because if in
For sure.
fact that Liam wasn't the waffler he has been over the past decade, they wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
worried about him.
That's exactly right. And you've seen him go both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen him tell Steffi, "Oh, it's always been you. It's you. It's I love you. You're the one. You're the love of my life." And then, of course, something goes down, and there's, "Oh, it's Hope. It's Hope. It's always been you. It's you. You're the love of my life." Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I want Finn to come back right whenever Liam leaves Hope to try to get Steffi to be with him. And I want Steffi to tell him no. And then I want Hope to tell him to go kiss off when he tries to come back to her and find somebody else that's better, whether it's Wyatt or somebody new.
Honestly.
And I want Liam to be alone.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
No, because the thing is, both of those girls should have let him alone a long time ago. He can't keep bouncing back. That's why he got 2 kids with the both of them. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, one with Kelly, and then you got Beth. Yeah, you got a kid with both these women. They needed to cut him off a long time ago instead of fighting over him because he couldn't make up his mind.
Right.
So yeah, that whole. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say. With that said, I do still think though that whenever the foursome of Hope, Wyatt, Liam, and Steffi were kind of on screen about the same time, I thought Wyatt and Hope were funner together, and I thought Liam and Steffi were funner together.
Okay.
I thought Hope and Liam are just both so passive
Mm-hmm.
that it's a little boring for me.
Yep. Whereas Steffi was the motorcycle girl, she was the cha-cha-cha, and she brought out that wild side.
Yes. Like instead of just being around, he was actually living the part. It was
right.
Really, it was exciting. It was more fun.
Yeah, that's why I always used to call him. He's a Logan. He's not a Spencer because for Brooke and Hope just tells him what to do and he just go do it.
Yeah, there's some tire treads on his back, that's for sure.
I mean, seriously, just like this whole thing with telling Steffi, it was like, you need to go tell him. And I'm like, first of all, how you going to overstep Steffi's parents? They finally was able to talk, Ridge into it. But even Ridge, you should have told Taylor what you guys were about to do.
Absolutely.
I did not like that at all. That couldn't have been me.
No. Well, I don't even have kids, and I would have absolutely lost it.
Oh man, that could not have been me if that was one of my kids, and then y'all just come in here and just bombard and say, "Hey, we got something to tell you." But hold on, nobody cleared this with me. Stop! Everybody, get out. Everybody, turn around. Go back out that door. We got to talk in the hallway. What are you talking about? Oh well, Liam is going to tell, her that he's not her husband and that her husband is gone and you got a son. I'm like, was anybody going to cook?
Decided it.
Yeah, were you going to let me in on this or no?
Right. Well, and then did you see Bridget? Taylor, I'm sorry, I didn't talk more with you. I mean, that is like that's a throat punchable moment right there. You didn't tell me.
Right, and I mean the mother of the patient. I mean, she's a grown woman, but still, that's her mom.
Right.
Technically, they don't have the right to do that. Lisa is not married to her. So the hospital staff could have been like, no, this is something that me, the doctor, or her parents need to discuss. They had no rights to do that, actually.
No, not at all. And the fact that it came from Brooke and Hope was disgusting.
Yeah, because
how desperate.
Well, you know what? But see, that's what you get for dealing with a waffler. So you chose a man who goes back and forth between you and somebody that you've known for years, and he's afraid. They were afraid that the close because look how Liam was talking. Oh my God, I gotta be there for her. I can't. She can't be alone. And my heart aches for her, and I gotta be there for her. And they looking like, oh, here we go again. We gotta rein him in. So yeah, they got insecure because they know how Liam operates. When he likes to save people, and especially women. Look, he almost got himself killed with Sally.
Exactly.
He went into an exploding building because he wanted to save Sally, and I got to get my last kiss in, and you shouldn't have blown up her building. Liam never learns, but these girls either, because that when somebody show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them, exactly. Well, look at Ivy too.
Yeah. Yep. Liam has been with Ivy, Sally, Steffy, Hope. Am I missing anybody? Amber.
Yeah.
Amber.
What about Quinn? Whenever Quinn kidnapped him.
Yeah. I guess he
really
didn't go
count,
on. Yeah, he don't go on. He didn't go on his own volition.
He did not.
You know, but the rest of those girls, it was always where he tried to save somebody.
Yeah, yeah. And even though he and Sally only ever kissed that one time in the rubble, he still had to save her.
Yeah. Yep. So
He's got
and
that
Brooke,
complex for sure.
yeah, and Brooke and Hope knows that. So they didn't want him to get anywhere deeply closely attached emotionally to Steffi because they know what he could do.
Yeah, and Taylor knows too.
Yeah, that's why Taylor was like, "Oh yeah, I'm here." Taylor was like, "I'm here for this." So okay. So the other thing that we got to talk about is Sheila trying to take Steffi out.
Okay. You know, she's like this bad penny that keeps turning up in the till. She's always hovering in the background. And how do you have talking to yourself out loud and going at the nurse's station? Here's your ranting and raving out loud, talking to yourself in the lobby 10 feet away.
Well, I got a couple things and you're absolutely right because you would think somebody would hear you. Here's one thing: if you don't want somebody to remember what happened, don't show your face.
Thank you.
You keep popping up in her face. It's like, why are you here? I keep seeing you, and then all of a sudden, the girl gonna go to sleep and wake up like, oh my God, it was Sheila.
Right.
I mean, if you don't want her to remember, don't be around.
But it's therein lies the absolute self-absorbed narcissism of Sheila Carter. Because she said when she was standing over Steffi, looking at the medication bag drip and looking at Steffi, if you just would have listened to me, if you just would have given me a chance. Now you're leaving me no choice. I have to do this to protect myself. It's like, man, you killed your own son. I don't know that you're.
So let me ask you this, because I don't know, I said this 2 weeks ago, and you might have been on the call with me before that, but there is a 50-50 thing here because she shouldn't have shot her son, but that moment that Steffi got free from Sheila up against that garbage can, and when Sheila backed off and said, you know what, I'm going to be a good person, I'm not going to do anything, that was Steffi cue to get the French toast out of there.
I absolutely agree.
She could have stopped her husband because that's the only reason that Finn was there, because he tracked her there.
Right.
If she got out of there, she could have met Finn somewhere else. And of course, told the family, oh my God, she's this, she the one that did this to Brooke and blah, blah, blah. But no, she wanted, again, do not poke the bear. You don't poke the monster. You got free. It's like being tackled by a grizzly bear. The moment you get free, you don't jump in front of the grizzly bear face and say, see, I can beat you. No, they're going to try to come after you again. You leave. Leave.
Exactly.
But no, Steffi was like, I'm in control. You're going to do what I say. And I'm like, no, Steph. No. Don't do this.
You can't fight insanity.
You cannot fight crazy. You just can't. And it seems like a running theme with both of these soaps is when crazy come around, because there's some arrogance on the other side of this too. that I'm
Oh
in
yeah.
control and I can beat you. And it's like with a psychopath or a sociopath, it's not gonna happen. It just don't. Not when you're rational or supposedly rational.
Right, because you can't think how the other person thinks
Yeah, I
because it's
mean,
too
yeah,
far out there.
yeah, I mean, sociopaths and psychopaths are on a whole different mental mindset. You cannot think that you're going to outsmart or outbeat them unless you take them out. That's it.
And then that makes you them.
That makes you them. Exactly. So that, I mean, that part right there, because Sheila did horrible things. I'm not excusing her, but she had an open door to get out of there, and she didn't take it.
Yeah.
And for her to actually dig her heels even deeper with Sheila, don't poke me.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew that girl had a gun in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
When someone's that diabolical, you got to expect the
you gotta
worst.
expect the worst. And you're in a dark alley by yourself arguing with this person. Are you crazy?
Right.
So I don't think that was a good decision. I don't excuse, because here's the thing: after she shot her son, now it's back
Mm-hmm.
in Sheila's court, because now you shot your son and then you turn around and you shoot his wife. That's on you now. I mean, because she could have ran. Not ran after shooting her son, but just get out of there. If Steffi was going to be screaming and yelling, and I'm in control, get out. One of you, two of
Yeah.
you, leave. you know,
Crazy.
it's crazy. But fast forward 3 weeks. So yeah, like you said, Sheila is now on a whole nother level with still trying to kill this girl.
Yeah. Uh, it's a good thing Liam walked in when he did.
But see, here's the thing. We all know Jacqueline is due to have a baby. I don't know if she had her child, because I thought she was due the end of April. But during this time period, I would think that she's going to go on maternity leave. So my question is how?
Right. There was some indication of some people are thinking that she's going to have problems with pain medication again.
Hmm.
Other people are thinking she's going to take the kids and go out of town for a while. So
Okay.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do, because she did say on a video that she was going to work until she couldn't.
Okay. Interesting. And then I don't know how many weeks she'll take after she had the baby. So I guess we'll have to see how they exit her for her break.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
it
And there
will.
was an article. I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did see an article on one of the Facebook pages today that was talking about how that that Steffi is going to remember. So maybe she remembers, and maybe she does something stupid like confront her alone, and maybe something happens and she's hurt and has a head injury and doesn't remember again. And who knows what they're going to do?
Yeah, it better
I
be
just
good though.
want Sheila to go off that cliff.
What'd you say?
I just really want Sheila to go off that cliff.
Yeah, I mean, but right now Sheila's storyline is keeping the show interesting. Because other than that, they have nothing.
Yeah, I just the diabolical nature of it when there's babies involved. Oh,
Yeah, it's
oh,
crazy.
it is crazy.
Yep. So I think that's it. We covered everything with Bold.
We did. It was a good week.
Yeah, it was a good week. I'm trying to make sure we didn't see Paris this week. We only saw Quinn
Just
and
for
Carter.
just Carter and Quinn for that brief time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one thing about Bold, because it's a half an hour every day. You don't get a lot. You get like maybe one and a half, maybe two storylines. Like unlike Young and the Restless, it's several going on at one time. So,
Yeah.
all
True.
right. So, what you got for the flip the script? Now, for you guys who are new, our flip the script segment is if there is a particular storyline or a scene that you could change, this is where we flip the script. So, what do you have for the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful for this week?
So for the Young and the Restless, I really would have rather Ray not been dead. I would
Okay.
have rather had him, be injured where he would go through, rehabilitation and everything, and I would have rather have it been Ashland's fault outright.
Okay.
Just because he's been so bad of a person, and I just don't want him to have another. I know what we talked about through that, earlier, but I don't want him to have another chance with Victoria.
Okay.
And now saving her, I don't know. I'm kind of not feeling it. I don't want him to be able to take advantage of that. But obviously, Ray's gone, but I'm going to miss Ray's character. And on Bold, that one, I really wanted Ridge to, if Brooke was going to behave that way, I really wanted Ridge to look at her and grab her by the shoulders. And instead of handling it the way he did, I would want him to take her by the shoulders and say, listen, you're making so many things about you right now. What I need you to do is stop talking about yourself and understand that my flesh and blood is in that other room healing, and her husband's dead.
Yep.
You need to back off of everything. So I really wish he would have been stern. If I could have flipped the script there, it would have been that he would have actually been harsh with her instead of pandering around it.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
what about you?
Okay, so for the Young and the Restless, that whole conversation between Diane and Phyllis, when she was calling her saying you're this and you're past and you're horrible, I would have wanted Diane to clap back and say, look, you're no saint. So before you start throwing stones in my camp, you need to look at your own boulders and yours. So, yeah, I would have wanted Diane to like put the kibosh on that. I mean, good grief. I was just not happy with Phyllis this week. On the Bold and Beautiful, I would have, even with Bridget saying wanting to let Liam do all that, I would, if I was Rich, I would tell them, look, this is a family issue. I understand you an extended family, and Brooke probably will say, but I'm your wife. Okay, fine. But that's my daughter, that's Taylor. It's our decision. So let us make it. Let me talk to Taylor, and I will let you know. But for them to just, for Rich to just allow that whole blindsidedness to happen, I just didn't like it. Now, it did work, but I just didn't like how it was handled.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I didn't like that, of course, Brooke was trying to force Liam's hand. Liam is now, and Bridget trying to force Ridge's hand, and he just goes with it. And I'm like, wait a minute, anybody gonna tell Taylor? And Taylor's standing there looking like, what's happening?
Exactly. Well, she even said, what's going on?
Yeah, he did. So that would have been my flip. I would want, like you said, instead of him being so passive, he should have put his foot down and said, you know what, just let us handle it. Thanks, Bridget, for letting me know that, everything looks good on her test, but let me talk it over with Taylor. I'll bring Liam into this and we'll figure out what we're going to do. The Hope and Brooke has no say so over that. They don't. So, all right, girlie, it was a good one.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, as usual, it's a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. And,
me too.
And yeah, you guys, thank you again so much for supporting us for 3 years on the Anchor Podcast platform. You guys are amazing. Coming back every week. And for all of the newbies on the YouTube side, thank you so much for subscribing and listening in for the last several weeks on the CBS Soapdish Recap of The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. So we look forward to the week of May 2nd through May 6th. And until then, we will see you later. Bye.